Hello healthy family, and welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some time with me. I love and appreciate you all. So I'm doing this video in the car while I am driving. It's safe. You see, I'm not holding my phone, but I was like, I'm gonna run and do some errands real quick before I do my live and do my video. And y'all, I looked up and it was 4 o'clock. And I was like, how did that happen? So I had to go home, drop off my groceries, and then run go pick up my little one. Because although we have until 6 something, if it hits like 4:30, he start like, where the fuck my mama at? So here we are, okay? By the way, we still have a few tickets left for our Catapult Your Energy event, which is this Saturday, December 20th. This is an online virtual event. The link will be down below in the description. But this event is so, like, I'm so excited for this one. You know, this is our 4th annual event, and we're going to be talking about so many different things. I've spoken to some of the speakers. They've given me a little hint and tidbit about what they're speaking on, and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to see us rock out. So if you haven't gotten your ticket, what are you waiting for? Okay, Nature Cabal Goddess, King Simon, Coriel, Malcolm X Bowser will all be my guest speakers. I have done a channeled reading and also an energy balancing, you can say Reiki type session, but not really. It's not really Reiki, it's quantum energy, that is being sent out to all of the attendees. And of course, if you purchase your ticket and you can't attend live for whatever reason, it's Saturday from 12 to 4:30. You of course will have the replay, so you'll have lifetime access. So again, that's the Catapult Your Energy event. The link is below to purchase your ticket. Okay, so today's video, we're talking about NPCs, inspired by a conversation that I had with someone today. But I kind of was going to talk about how to not like give your energy away. And yes, I've spoken about energy vampires, but I wanted to make sure I touched on NPCs. And if you don't know what an NPC is, it's a non-playable character. The term is coined from, you know, video games, but literally we have non-playable characters. And what these NPCs are, these are just bodies. They're just vessels. They don't really have a soul spark. They are not beings that can connect to source. Like, they don't derive from source. They're like androids. They're like robots, but like a human vessel. So they were born, their bodies were born, you know, they can do all the human functions like a human being can, but they are really easily swayed. You know, they don't really have emotional intelligence. They don't really have empathy. You know, they're just like cogs in a machine. And anyone can be an NPC, okay? Anyone can be an NPC. You can be a child of an NPC. You can be married to an NPC, right? Some NPCs are a little bit more sophisticated than others. You know, some are just here, just taking up space. They're just, you know, they're really only activated when attention is given to them, right? So, you know, the old adage, if a tree falls in the forest, doesn't make any sound. The sound is only perceived when it bounces off something that can hear it or receive it, okay? So the NPC is only really activating, can only really do anything when they are perceived or received, or if they're like in, you know, if they're integrating with other, interacting with other people, okay? These people do not have a soul. Now, how you can tell an NPC, if they keep running a script, if they keep saying the same thing over and over, if you try to throw something at them and they're just like, brain does not compute, right? Or they're just like, well, no, CNN said, Trump said, Obama said, my mama said, whatever, they're just running that program. They're like, I gotta have my, get a job, and I gotta raise my family, if they have one. But most of the time NPCs don't really have like a family structure dynamic, right? They may have children because, again, they can do human functions, they can do those things, but they don't really have that family dynamic structure, or like, I want to do something special or spectacular or memorable with my family, because again, they don't have the emotional intelligence. Okay. These vessels can also seem to have like split personalities, but that's because they can be host for various spirits. So you can have, one day this NPC, they are so loving and so kind, they're like charitable donations, whatever, and then the next day they are like hell on wheels. That's because there's different spirits that just inhabit them. They are not really one of their own, like they don't really have a personality of their own. Okay. Another way how you can spot them is their eyes. Eye-to-eye contact is so imperative, and I right now got my blockers on, but you can look at an NPC. If you look in their eyes and you feel nothing, you're like, where's your soul, where's your spirit, where's the life? You know what I'm saying? Their eyes aren't always dark, but sometimes their eyes are extremely dark, right? Or they just won't make the eye contact with you because they know they trying to catch me. But literally, the eyes are the windows to the soul, and you can look in the eyes and you're like, there's nothing there. That's the NPC. Okay. Also, these people online, they're what you call the bots, that they're always arguing. If you see somebody that's always online, always commenting or arguing with somebody, like, and I mean, I'm not saying, everybody has a social media or a game or something, whatever. I'm just talking about these individuals that really get off on being, trolls or bots, or just back and forth. You comment something and they right back to it. You say something and they're right on it. Like, there's no breaks because they're not doing anything else. They are thriving off your energy. These NPCs will take your energy, and they are really good at taking the energy through the electronics, because the frequency, they don't have to really be there, right? They don't have to have the eye contact, they don't have to have emotional intelligence. They can just rattle, and then you come off. I forget which movie it was that I saw. It was one of the kids movies. Was it Boss Baby? And he had all the monkeys, I think it was monkeys or something, like down in the basement, whatever, and they were just like, they were building apps and like siphoning energy and stuff like that. Those are those are NPCs. I hit the parking stump, that's all. It's okay, I'm at his school. They just like rattle things off, just push it off, right? They push the script. This is what we should do, this is how we should move, right? Another way how you can spot NPCs is, if you've never like been to someone's personal space, if they don't really invite you to their personal space, yes, sometimes people are like, oh, I'm private, I don't really want people like around, or whatever the case is. But if they don't have like any, they're like, oh, I brought this from home, or I brought my lunch, or on their desk they don't have any pictures, that's an NPC. That's an NPC. And if you're like, damn, that sounds like my supervisor, that sounds like my this, that sounds like that, it probably is, because you know what? 95% of the people on this planet, 90 to 95, because these babies, these new children coming in, they have a different soul spark about them, but 90 to 95% of the people on this planet are NPCs. They don't have a soul. They don't have a spark. So I'm saying that to say, don't sit here and give these people your energy. Don't sit here and go back and forth with these individuals, because most of the time you're arguing with the bot, or you're arguing with an android. They're just pushing the program. Okay, they're like, what's the script? What do we need to say? Okay, we're on it. Like, that's it. Okay, don't get yourself all worked up behind these individuals, because they are irrelevant. They're irrelevant as fuck. Okay. Anyway, that is that. I love you all. It's so cute. There's a fire station across from my son's school, and the firefighters are out there playing, I guess, a game of pickup with some like the local people. So they're in their uniform, and it's like some of the local boys they're playing. I love that. I love firefighters. So you're a firefighter, shout out to you. I love you. So until we connect again, wealthy family, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love.